The Wrestling Mayhem Show. Since 2006, the pioneer in pro wrestling podcasting.
This show is brought to you by IndyWrestling.us and IndyWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you got to do, make it last. Wait for the perfect...
It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, episode 927. Tuesdays, we've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, PA, where we promote podcasts and sometimes operate as a wayward kennel for lost dogs. So this is the podcast this Tuesday night that is not going to be co-hosted by a dog. That was the Awesome Cast. For that story, you can check out the Awesome Cast Patreon or my social media account, apparently. But anyways, we do have the most loyal of friends. The Riz is with us on the show this week.
I am very dog-like.
Yes. Sometimes you give the puppy dog eyes. Sometimes you piss on the floor.
I like head scratches.
Yes. Sometimes I can lure you with pepperoni and pizza crust.
Yes, that's also very true.
Yes.
You can lure me with food.
Mm-hmm.
Food always works.
Yes. Also, Riz Plays Games is where you do things.
As it is where I do things.
And you'll be hanging. Yes.
I play games.
Yes, and also, I should mention this more because we allude to this in the show, but also Riz has taken several roles in production in professional wrestling with us lately because I drag everybody in, baby.
The sword doesn't stop.
I've just been quietly bringing people into production that are in my what do you call it, when the planet rolls around in my my gravity, in my rotation, in my orbit. I bring them in and says, "Would you like to hold a camera? Would you like to push some?" It's the Sorgatron
vortex.
It is the Sorgatron vortex, if you will. It very much is.
Hi guys.
Is the case. Hi guys. Hi. So welcome to my learning tree. Anyways,
I mean, I switched a show one day.
you did switch a show. You were the
That's weird.
director of a show, so that is
Maybe I don't think it
wild.
was a full show. It was just like one match.
Yeah, it's like, hey, take care of this. We have to fix something.
Yeah.
Also with us, somebody else who's been doing some backstage media, but just made his debut actually, I think last month or the Rumble, if I'm not mistaken. Timothy Titan is with us.
I mean, I've had better moments than in that Rumble. So, I mean, thank you very much for having me here, though, Sorg. I appreciate it.
No, happy to have you on. For background, Titan is somebody I've known from an ill-fated promotion back in the day, actually.
I refer to it as the Voldemort of Pittsburgh wrestling.
Yeah, basically that thing in the place where we don't talk about it.
Yep.
So I mean, we got a couple of those on the list these days. So, but we shared one. We shared one of the places with no names.
We did, yes.
Yes.
Many moons ago.
But now you are representing, again, working backstage, working media with RWA Sports, and we'll talk a bit about that. And, of course, RWA's got a big show coming up this week with Rhino is on it against J-Rock, and we'll be doing that on IndyWrestling.us as usual. And we'll be talking about all kinds of wrestling stuff and have some fun. And just a little, we'll talk about AEW, we'll talk about WWE. It was the latest with everything there. And I did watch the new Batista movie, Killer's Game, and it was a blast yesterday to watch that thing. So a nice thing to decompress after a week of traveling, thankfully. So
I've been looking for somebody that saw that, so I'm glad you've seen it. I'm curious to hear your opinion because I've been wondering if I should see it or not.
Definitely recommend. We'll get more into that and maybe just talk kind of wrestling movies in general here in a moment. But in the meantime, WWE is going through a little bit of a series reset. SmackDown just premiered on USA Network, I guess. If you
I'm glad I wasn't the only person confused by that.
Which part of it? What was the confusing part for you?
I think the whole Triple H thing, because they didn't change networks or anything, right? I don't understand the re-debut, I guess.
Well, SmackDown was on Fox until last week.
Okay.
So they were over on Fox for a few years.
See, I'm a Hulu watcher, so I don't actually know what network anything.
You're like, I don't know. It just comes to me. You didn't notice all the college football ads and everything on Fox that they were in FS1 they were talking about?
It's either college football ads or gambling sites. They really want you to gamble nowadays. I've learned.
Oh, they're all gambling sites now. It's crazy. So I actually love the international feed. You'll hear Excalibur go to throw to a DraftKings commercial. Let's hear from our friends at DraftKings, and I just go to black. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Moving on. So it's good. But anyways, no. Glad you're here with us, and we'll talk a little bit. Wait, I already did that part. SmackDown was Friday. They had their debut on USA. USA is going nuts because they have about 2 or 3 weeks where they have all 3 programs on their network. So they're like, look at us, we got all the WWE.
That started with a week, didn't it? Like last year, it was just 1 week.
Yeah. Last year they did a bunch of stuff, but I think Fox has always been the odd way in and out. Now it's going to be really interesting because now, just for you kind of catch people up on what's going on here, SmackDown just moved over to USA from Fox. I feel like I need the board that Matt used to do with the string.
You need Matt's board.
With the forbidden board, the forbidden door board.
Thumbtacks and string.
Yeah. I think he made a digital version of that just for everybody that was popping from promotion per promotion. Like when we're coming out of COVID and like Kenny was on Impact and and it was leading into what became it was forbidden dooring all over the place basically, and now it's just what happens. But anyways, so SmackDown's coming to USA. NXT is going to, in just a few weeks here, I believe, is going to be debuting on the CW. So it's funny that one came from network and now another one's going back to network. And actually, technically, CW is the remnants of or merger of what SmackDown started on UPN back in the day. So it's kind of an interesting full circle situation, right? And they're doing those, but they're actually going to do live shows outside of the Performance Center on the road, and they're bringing some big names in them to sell the tickets and everything. I don't know if that's going to be ongoing or not. In the first 2 weeks, I think they talked about. I haven't looked at the schedule beyond that. And, of course, Raw is going to Netflix in January. In the meantime, they're going to be redheaded stepchild, literally. And they're knocking down to 2 hours, and supposedly, I believe in the near future, SmackDown is going to be moving to 3 hours. So a little bit of a shift there. So either way, Riz, you're going to get to sleep, go to sleep a little bit early on school nights thanks to this.
Good, because I'll be sleeping still the same time when I watch SmackDown.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Like I have 3 hours on Friday.
Yeah.
Is this still on Friday? Is this still going to be on Friday?
SmackDown's on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's going to be an interesting kind of trick, I guess, for the mind.
Oh,
I don't know how long, like, I don't know how much, like, a 3-hour SmackDown is gonna look.
Mm-hmm. It means you're gonna double the time of Roman's entrance.
Okay, I can see it.
By the way,
we need that. We definitely need that.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved this week because they were doing that segment at the end of SmackDown. I'm watching it back this morning, and it was because I was catching up from the travel. And I love that it was like, there's like 12 minutes left, and they're going to have Roman and Cody come out and do a segment with all these guys. What are we going to do? And they had Roman come out, do his entrance, and during the entrance, they kicked the picture-in-picture, but it perfectly timed to him getting back on the mic when he came back. And not like he stalled. Like he just did his entrance. Right? It was just like the picture-in-picture Roman entrance is a very interesting concept to me. And maybe they have a little bit more control, of course, now because they don't have the network issues. Plus, also, I need to adjust my DVR because they are not required to end at 9:59 p.m. for the local news anymore. And I did not see the last few minutes of SmackDown. So adjust you're not gonna have actually you will have a problem because all of the shows are supposed to be ending on Hulu, I believe, by the end of the month.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do because there's still, last I knew, everything's on a month delay on Peacock for replays.
It is. It's a month delay on Peacock because I have that also. I was kind of curious to see when they go to Netflix, does that compare with SmackDown now that it's on USA?
Well, yeah, it is going to be interesting. They have alluded that we're not going to have the limitations. Obviously, we are getting the listen, WWE keeps this is something that always bugs me is the holy ass chance, the holy shit chance, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
If you're gonna do badass stuff that pops the crowd, and then you're gonna mute it and kill the whole vibe of the thing, like, is killing me. They had this cage match. They were doing great stuff. There was a women's match. God, I remember it was like Raw or something. Like there was a crazy women's match that was going. Oh no, it was Bianca and Io Sky were having a baller match on SmackDown. I think it was. No, wait, or was it Raw? I think it was, no, it's all meshes together. It doesn't matter. It all meshes together. No, I think it was Raw actually. And just there's holy shit chance for like. You pop the crowd, you've worked the crowd up. This is part of it, and you're now muting things. I know it's probably a network thing or something, or I think they got called out on the carpet for still being TV PG because supposedly there was an all hands meeting in the last week or so where it reminded everybody that we're still like to watch the language out there because they're still TV PG for the moment. So I don't know. All of that seems really kind of peculiar to me. But it's just I hate this. Like we've gone so long. And we're doing so good. WWE is doing so good, and the fans are so into it. And I don't know if it makes like I remember attending a Lucha Underground taping, and what is the word punto? I think it is. They will chant that.
Oh yeah.
And this is on RWA Network. I don't even know if it still exists anymore. You know, and it's still something where there's like, hey, we don't want, hey, we're doing a lot of stuff, but we don't like just want. Straight swearing and all that, right? And I guess that's a bad one in Spanish. So I remember, like, I think Vampiro had to come out and say, "Hey guys, just want to remind you, we're taping this. Please don't chant such and such, because we are doing this for TV, and it's going to make it very difficult. And we want to hear you guys chant, not have to edit around it and stuff." So like there was a statement of that, and I know WWE, and I hear like NXT maybe they did this a little bit because it is a little more of a casting call audience kind of deal because it's a smaller thing in the controlled environment. But like I don't know if there's a hey fans, please don't chant swears it's terrible for TV. Hey, you're on TV and there's children here or something.
Please don't say "fuck you, Roman" or "fuck you, Solo."
Hey, you can express yourselves, but please don't. And it's not even like one or two people. It's like the crowd. It's
you
crowd.
call them the WWE Universe, they're going to get involved. That's the thing.
Yes,
You refer to people as the WWE Universe, they're going to get involved.
And that's the beautiful thing is they are now. They're singing along. They are involved. They are responding and yeeting and whatting and whatever the case may be, right?
It seemed like that French crowd really changed things. When they went to France and had that just amazing crowd over there, it seems like it
my
crowds,
God. I mean, really,
all
all of
crowds
them.
what to do.
So many of them, right? I mean, I think that really amped it up. They've said in how many press conferences, yes, United Paramount Network, UPN. In the chat room. It just came back around and you're just like, man, you're doing such a great thing, but then you're like not representing well on television when you're doing this, right? So I don't know. It's an issue, and I hope that they kind of get over it. And obviously Netflix is going to change the game for it. I don't think it's going to be as egregious as when they were on SmackDown, when they would black out things that they didn't like. Well, again, you had FCC, but now what's going to happen with NXT now that they're on television, right?
See, that's my biggest thing that I'm curious about right now is how is the Netflix show going to compare to the on television show?
Yeah. I think it's going to be wildly different. My hope is if you watch any of those shows internationally, because USA is one of the few places where Netflix is not getting everything. Remember, warm up your VPNs, ladies and gentlemen. So you Titan, you gotta get through a couple months here, and you'll be okay. And then I am a big advocate of ExpressVPN, and you can take a swim to the UK with me as I watch AEW these days.
I have ExpressVPN actually, so you're preaching to the choir already.
There you go. So you're visiting Canada and the UK already, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I buy with video gaming, you can buy cheaper video games sometimes. You change your VPN, buy a video game for $6 cheaper.
I don't know if we should be saying that one out loud, but
well, I mean that's what I heard people do.
My understanding is that's the thing that people do. I heard some people go to Triller and buy their pay-per-view for $20. That's $60 a year.
TikTok. I don't know if it's real.
I mean, it's allegedly. I don't know. I would never, just like,
apparently.
Yes. Allegedly. My wife was a paralegal, so I've learned the language. So I just text her. I'm like, as long as I say allegedly in front of something, I can say anything, right? Actually, I'm going to text her right now and see what she says. Just to be like, what are you doing now? She's already freaked out because I adopted a dog for a few hours. Anyway.
How do you adopt a dog for a few hours?
Oh, it met me because I was carrying the pizza back from Slice, and it walked right up to me, and I'm like, who are you? You don't have a collar. I don't do this is a story for a different podcast.
Okay,
but the dog was hanging out in here with me for a few hours for getting ready for the show and eating pizza with me, and we it was on the podcast, and then we got a text and I'm like, hey, it belongs to my neighbor, and they picked it up in between. I had no way to
That's
bet
awesome.
it. I don't know if I should have bet it. But something like that. My mom keeps calling me and asking me where the dog is, and if it's coming home with her because she's got space out of the city and everything. If I say allegedly in front of,
I love that we're getting a professional opinion on this.
That makes it okay, right? Do this in the group chat. Anyways,
this is like saying
this is not legal.
With all
advice.
due respect.
Yes.
With all due.
Yeah, it was just like saying with all due respect, fuck you. Anyways, let's see where we're at. Let's see who's in the chat. And Dave Ponder's hanging out. What's up, everybody on TikTok as well that's hanging out too. Please, wherever you are, I know there's stars and likes and things like that and gifting and things. I know it's September over on the Twitch channels if you're watching over there. So
25% off.
WTF in what context? She says, podcast things.
Wait, don't say anything. I'm just gonna do something real quick.
You gonna message her? Okay.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, so a lot of fun stuff happening there. Let me see if there's any more things I wanted to touch base. Hey, the SmackDown effect is real. Although considering who's involved in this, Megan Thee Stallion and RM of BTS, the Korean K-pop group, I believe that is, hits a #1 in digital sales after their song, which now is the intro song for SmackDown as of last Friday. So it catapulted it to #1 on the charts. So
Yeah, see, you don't get the SmackDown on Hulu, so there's definitely no Hulu effect there.
oh no, yeah,
You don't get the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh really? They cut it off?
Yeah, it's like a 90-minute condensed version of Raw too.
Well, I know Raw's 90 minutes, but I didn't know there was a cut down on SmackDown because I used to watch it on there a bit actually before I
there's no
cut
intro. It's like a 2-second little pop-up thing, and then it goes right to it.
Really, this sometimes they just don't do an intro. So
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe that's what happened because, like I said, the last one I watched was the newest one, and it was 2-second little pop-up thing right to Triple H.
Oh wow, fascinating. Okay.
Yeah.
Very curious. Very curious. Oh no, here we go. Now I'm really question. Don't question. Anyways. Hello. Let's. What is this other conversation about Julia Lynn? Anyways, moving on. Hope she's not watching. Where are we at? Where are we at with things? Okay, I don't know. It's whatever the last conversation was. Oh, we're not. Somehow we did not go live on our own YouTube, so that's a thing. That's fine though. We're everywhere else today. Maybe we'll go live here in a moment when I get a moment to fix it. Anyways, hey, thanks to our Patreon supporters, patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. We do try to have some extra Patreon content. There's actually a live stream with a little bit of the conversation and us fussing with technology. The Patreon post show when we do it is a part of that as well. If the show goes down like it did, where was that? It seems like it's happening every other week for one reason or another. I think it happened on this show actually. Like the show went down, the computer reset. I had to re-edit the show later, or no, I think it even happened on the Awesome Cast. I think I need to get a new computer here. But either way, we're streaming on a whole different device, so you get the feed when everybody else out there that doesn't pay for it doesn't. So I say it's a nice backup system. You see what's happening. We're on commercials and things like that. It's a true behind the scenes kind of thing.
Sword shows his feet. It's really fun.
Sometimes I'll show the feet. That'll be a special Patreon for everybody $10 and more, which includes you, the Riz.
Also, Sorg, just throwing it out there. I don't think you mentioned this enough. If you're watching on Twitch and you have Amazon Prime, you could do a free sub.
Yes.
So,
drop those free subs, baby. Who isn't on Amazon Prime these days? Come on, watch the boys. Anyways, but thank you to our friends on following us on Patreon. Our friends at the fan of the show level, Bo Diggity, woo, as well as Team Hammer Fist, the Tupac family, Megan Nelson, Bubba Brewer, and Jason French at the Poppy Club level, Dave Prop Ponder, spouse of Ruth Shirley Affair at RuthShirleyAffair.com, and Ratchet and Trenchcoat Tony Kincaid at the Pizza Club level, The Riz. Hi. And at the manager level, Bradley and Tina Keys. And that is who I have. And I didn't look at any updates if anybody's changed this week. So you got an extra shout out probably if anybody's moved one way or another. Anyways, thank you, everybody. You can support the show at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. It does help pay the bills to keep the show coming to you. And tells me to keep booking Tuesday nights and keep them free. And do it from a hotel room when I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan, instead of going to the swanky dinner with everybody.
Or the swimming pool.
Or the swimming pool. I did go to the swimming pool.
You did go to the swimming pool?
Yes.
I saw that.
Did. You saw that. How'd you see me in the swimming pool, Riz?
I was about to ask the same thing. What do you mean you saw that?
Riz, were you in Ann Arbor too? Riz?
Allegedly, no.
Wait a minute.
Allegedly.
Wait a minute. You can't use my word against me.
Allegedly.
Don't use my word against me.
Allegedly yet.
Allegedly, I watched the Killers game yesterday, and I had a good time. The new Batista movie, a side note, it was revealed much later, I think, on a poster that Drew McIntyre is a part of this, and Drew McIntyre basically plays Drew McIntyre. I don't want to give much away, but it is that kind of fun... I don't know what to compare it to, but like the way it introduces a cast of killers, a cast of characters in this thing, and it is one of those fun movies, kind of like, I don't want to say John Wicky, kind of thing.
Well, I think the people that made John Wick made it. I'm pretty sure.
That
I
might
watched
be
the trailer earlier.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not as let me tell you, it's not a giant body count, okay, like a John Wick film where you're just like, oh my God, dig a mass grave in this movie kind of situation, right? Is it like look, Titan? You're a wrestler, and I know was Quinn your trainer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I feel like I've heard, Quinn's one of those guys. Quinn Magnum's one of those guys. I feel like that would always tell you, the slow, the flippy is all the flips don't get as many reactions as the slow and methodical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think
it's more about the story. The story matters more than the moves.
How many, does the bump get the reaction? And when you watch John Wick, like a sneeze kills a person, is the equivalent. And you're just kind of like, oh, there's another one. There's a pile of bodies. Well, wasn't that fun? Moving on. It's just like flip, tone, bump, and maybe the crowd doesn't react. So I think, is there? I feel like there's a 1-to-1 to that situation.
Because it seems more like John Wick's more of a revenge movie, and that seems more like he's on the defensive for most of the movie.
Yeah.
So
this is interesting. I mean, the plot. He's supposedly he thinks he's gonna die. He meets this girl, doesn't want her to see him go out like that. There's some.
So that's why I giggled a little bit when you said you don't want to give too much away, because I feel like the trailer. Basically, I know everything.
Yeah, you know the story, but there's little tweaks in there that they do where you're just like, okay, that's fun, kind of thing. Like, the deal, that it's not really, and he puts a hit on himself and, goes to the worst person, but it's like, hey, how you watch, I'm having these conversations. Well, we know who's going to win in this match on Raw, right? Because we know this person's doing this and going to this and and this and this. We know who's going to win, but we still want to watch the story progress in the meantime, right? Like Batista's going to roll off in the sunset with this girl and murder the shit out of everybody that's coming after him somehow. But you're still here for the ride. How the roller coaster ends.
But it's fun to see how it gets there.
Exactly.
It's fun to see how he gets there.
How the roller coaster ends, but you want to go for the ride. That's okay. And I we always bitch about that, unless you're like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. By the way, the what's the Trapped was really good. I really prefer. I really like that one.
The one where they're in like a giant theater.
No, it's a concert. It's a concert.
A giant concert, and then they can't get out.
Yes. But you do have a nice half hour of the movie after the parts where they show you everything in a trailer to be like, what's the rest of this movie gonna be? So that kind of thing. He gets less trapped eventually, I guess you could say. But I mean, what else are they gonna do with that, right? But anyway, so but I'm just loving these interviews I see. One, Batista with puppies. Have you seen this?
I have not seen the Batista with puppies interview.
It is a TikTok where they just put him in this white room and release the puppies on him, and it's so wonderful.
See, that's awesome. I'm really glad that more wrestlers are making the crossover into movies. To be completely honest with you,
oh, absolutely.
As far as especially action stars, so many of them have that action star look, if you will.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny since John Cena's going the comedy route. He's doing that. I haven't finished watching it, but he did that Jackpot movie. He did that. Oh my God, what's the one where they hired him to be his best friend?
I was just gonna say that movie is hilarious. I can't remember what it's called. He is so funny.
Ricky
in that movie. Ricky, yep, that's it.
Ricky Stenicki.
Yep.
Ricky Stenicki, yes, that was
got
good.
That way too quickly.
And he's so good at the comedy thing, right? Like he's so good at that. Batista's been really good. I saw there's another I Spy came up on Amazon as well. With him with the girl, the kid that and he's a spy and like she finds him out or something, right? And she was in something else that was pretty good recently too. I thought maybe if I'm not mistaken, but. Yeah, no, it shows how versatile they were, right? And even like him talking about like in his interviews about how like he was only around for like 5 years of wrestling before he started rolling into this, which is like he feels like such a bigger staple, from something like this, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. He really does. You're not lying. Like he feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he
wow,
returned a couple of times, but nothing like really long or anything like that. There's one, and this is the thing. Like I feel like he's not in part of this giant ensemble like with Guardians. So there's a lot of like really direct interviews that he's having with people, and I think he had a Chris Van Vliet one where he was talking to Triple H about how he didn't think he belonged in the Hall of Fame because he had such a short career. And I love it. Triple H apparently tells him like, well, yeah, but it's everything you did afterwards that makes you a Hall of Fame WWE person. You know that idea.
Yeah.
We've seen this. John and Rock and him going out and being part of Guardians and Fast and the Furious and Peacemaker is only elevates. Is part of the reason why WWE does so well right now, right? Is it helps become mainstream. We've gone from we've gone from the Marine to the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a lot of these guys.
See, I'm surprised it took this long for this type of thing to happen, because if you think about it, to be a WWE superstar, you have to be somebody who's really good at playing a character.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely. And it's interesting the ones that have tried and didn't get through. Austin was trying for a lot of it and got some roles. Orton was doing a little.
I don't think
bit
Austin
of
played that much of a character though.
No.
Just, exaggerated version of himself. Yeah.
Well, it's just like this. Like the line is like, I think they're talking to Drew, and he's like, apparently the director's talking to Batista, and obviously this was a Batista vehicle for the most part as the star, right? So it was really just kind of a feature piece for him, just like a Jason Statham movie. You know what I mean? The Beekeeper, for instance. By the way, this might be better than The Beekeeper, and I really love The Beekeeper. So another Lionsgate action schmodge movie, right? Sorry, Briz, what were you saying?
You get like, if you even go back further to like Hogan movies.
I didn't get that far.
Yeah,
or Bret Hart and Lonesome Dove.
Bret Hart and Lonesome Dove, which was I think Sean did a few cameos back in the day, but like it just felt like they were playing the jock, the character, the dumb wrestler actor.
I got 2 points on this.
But
you'll go finish your thought. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. But I was saying, like, before that, I mean, after I think like maybe The Rock and maybe Longest Yard, Walking Tall, they started to shift over a little bit towards like, oh, maybe these guys can actually act. Now they mentioned that. Now they kept doing action moves, like you saw Rock doing rock bottoms, and like DDTs in normal settings, which was interesting. But you started seeing Batista get roles that are big. Like you see Batista getting talking roles. You see Cena going from WWE films to Peacemaker. You see the snowball effect in that.
Yeah. Again, we talk about the awkward holding the gun thing between Batista and PB Smooth a couple weeks ago. So, but it remind me of picking up PB a little bit again for something else. But I don't want to get off this. Is bringing up in the chat room, and I've been thinking about this. You think about who always did Walker Texas Ranger? Who was always on that one too? That's another one to try. I know I just saw a clip with Hulk Hogan I didn't know existed.
Was that Brett?
What did Brett? No, Stone Cold maybe? Did he pop up in that?
No,
I'm thinking Nash Bridges. Nash Bridges was his show.
Stone Cold.
But I gotta think, because this brought up, because I think the closest thing to a quote unquote mainstream one, I think they were really close to it and could have potentially got there. Obviously, Jesse Ventura had a very big role with Predator.
I ain't got time to bleed.
But yeah, I know. And Roddy Piper. I mean, it always astonishes me, because I feel like when I played the game, I didn't realize how much Duke Nukem was based on these other movies, because I didn't have those. To me, like, I was just rewatching Army of Darkness, and I'm like, oh my God, this is all Duke Nukem. Wow, and like a lot of that was really kind of introduced to me by Duke Nukem, and then I started watching these older movies on like Sci-Fi Channel or something, right? I think I started getting at the time. They Live. Piper didn't feel like. I mean, he was at least like on par with the typical 80s action deal, right? I feel like, I mean, They Live is a John Carpenter cult classic, obviously, but he was on that like Bruce Campbell kind of line, right? And that's still something.
Didn't he have like a pilot episode of something?
Piper and Jesse
Yeah.
Ventura tag team where they're
Yeah.
both cops that were former pro wrestlers, or they were pro
Yes.
wrestlers that were former cops. I can't remember
No,
which way that
They,
went.
they were going back into cops.
They were okay.
They were wrestlers going.
They
to
were
be
wrestlers
cops.
becoming cops. Okay.
Yeah, and
I'm
also
real
I
sad
just
that
want
show
to
never
point out
went.
what,
I remember watching that.
yeah, I want to point out what you were talking about, Sorg, just a little bit ago, because I did some research. There was only one episode with a wrestler in it
Of Walker?
of Walker, which is weird. It was called The Crusader,
Okay.
and the wrestler was Piper, actually.
Was Piper? Then what is this
Yeah.
clip I saw of Hulk Hogan being like in in
Maybe he
jail
was,
and a
I-
racist
I
or
said
something?
that was my mom's favorite show. I think I've seen probably every episode of
I
that. So
felt
when
like-
you said there was a wrestler, I was like, "There's no way I missed a wrestler."
I felt
in
like
this
I
show.
did too, and I was like, how would I miss something like that?
He
right?
played Cody the Crusader Conway.
He played a wrestler.
Yes.
I'm curious. There's an episode of Quantum Leap with some pro wrestlers, and I should look back and see if it's anybody that I would recognize now.
Oh.
Riz, hit the research department.
He's on it. It looks like
Wait,
he's
wait,
already
wait,
on it.
Wait, no, what was it? I'm sorry.
Quantum Leap, the
Quantum
original
Leap.
Quantum Leap. There's one where he leaped into a wrestler's in the middle of the match. Obviously, they exposed the business, which was probably pretty big for 1989 or 90 or
Ooh.
whatever.
Hard.
And
What the fuck?
he. So I just remember it was one of those like he leaped into a tag team that was supposed to be Russians.
Oh my God.
What?
It's gonna be good.
Terry Funk?
Of
What?
course.
Let's go.
I think
Good
let
choice,
me
at
see if I
least.
can find anything else on this, but it was the body of Terry Samus, a professional wrestler. So
Heart
I'm
of
trying
a,
to
heart
find
of a
who that-
champion. By the way, it's on the Peacock. By the way, they did cancel the new Quantum Leap. I understand.
I
Which
thought
makes
they
me
canceled
very
that. Like,
sad.
what?
They got 2 seasons out of it, and I was with it. I appreciated it. So
So
know.
he
I liked it. I kind of liked it better than the Knight Rider reboot a few years ago. But
That's
anyways,
true.
you were saying
so he did not leap into Terry Funk.
no.
He leapt into somebody named Terry Samus, who was not a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Or the actor was not a wrestler, I should say.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm trying to see if I can see anything else. But yeah, the only one here is that actually, or is showing as a wrestler, is Terry Funk.
I mean, if you're gonna have one, that's a good one to have.
Yeah,
This is season 3, episode 20, the 51st episode in Quantum Leap. Listen,
I got worried because I saw Heart of the Champion July 23rd, 1955.
so
Oh.
this is
So I thought that was like the actual date of the episode, and then I realized that can't be right.
and like I said, this is a very like that was rare in 1989 to have a full like wrestling exposed kind of thing like that. I
Mhm.
thought like that
Oh,
was like
super rare, yeah.
yeah, like as I think I made a statement that I believed in wrestling longer than Santa Claus kind of thing, and I think this is one of the things I started like oh what wait what's happening because I'm probably 8 at the time during this watching this show for on air, so that's
You're
really
probably, now that you say that, I probably did too. I probably believed in wrestling longer than Santa Claus because I remember the day my brother told me wrestling was fake. So,
I remember like all the kids at school, and
like, I don't remember when I found out Santa Claus was fake. I 100% remember the day I found out wrestling was fake.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like you kind of figured it out. Wrestling was still like, and of course I was taking my WWF magazines in through like 91 or so. So that was getting real. Though the walking around with a shirtless Lex Luger magazine, in a small town, that definitely did not
Yeah,
go over
So-
well. So no wonder I was bullied so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Rogu 3XX in the Twitch chat actually mentioned that Piper is also in Always Sunny. He was amazing in Always Sunny.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he was amazing in Always Sunny. You're right. He was so good in Always Sunny, in fact.
I want to find that episode. I keep going back every once in a while and trying to like, okay, I'm gonna watch some Always Sunny. Where I think I left off about here, and try to go
Oh,
back.
he's in the wrestling episode. It's actually, there's a famous clip where Frank plays the garbage man,
Oh yeah, the garbage trash man.
The trash man.
The trash man.
So
Oh,
I forgot about him in that. He's great in that show.
That's great. Anyways, the Colors game is very good. It did not do well enough. They did not have it in Dolby. That tells me how well they believe in a movie. So I'm kind of curious how it did. Goes the Killers game. Oh, and I love so. Okay, if you listen to Patreon, you know I had a affinity for watching The Beekeeper because it was so wonderfully ridiculous, right? Kind of like how I like the new Beetlejuice movie because I just thought it was one of the most unhinged things I've ever watched, you know. And I love like the little things in this was like again everybody's kind of a character. Drew is playing basically Drew McIntyre. They're like, we need a giant Scott, and he's like, well, he exists. His name's Drew McIntyre. Let's book him, you know, kind of thing. And what was I saying? But there's like just stuff in there, and it was like they just keep referring to it as the game the whole through the movie, you know. It's like, well, he's on the wrong. They're like oh, he got killed because he was on the wrong side of the game. It's like, what?
I actually have a question for you. In the trailer, they kind of give off the illusion that there might be like a Tinder for hitmen. Is that what's going on?
There is absolutely a fucking app for hitmen.
Okay, that's what it seemed like. It was
so...
like she was like swiping left and stuff on an app.
Yeah.
I was like, is this Hitman Tinder?
They go right into it, and it is so much fun when they do this.
Okay.
Right? This is a great. It's gonna listen. It's Lionsgate, so it's gonna be on Peacock within the next 2 months. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because Lionsgate's movies always just pop up. Like you were like, oh, it's still in the theater. It is on Peacock. Okay, I'm here for it.
I'm reading some Rotten Tomato.
Rotten Tomatoes is 39%, Fandango 78%, IMDb is 5.9 out of 10. Listen, it's not like it's not fucking Shakespeare, guys.
Yeah.
It is
like this one review, one of the reviewers, I guess. Seriously, Dave Batista literally dismembering some K-pop band lookalikes is not as exciting as it may sound.
I don't know. It's kind of fun.
Batista tries to parry the load of the crumbling script. There is no script in this movie. Shut up.
There was really. I feel like the most of it was ad-libbed, except for the effects.
The crumbling script on his broad shoulders, and overshadowed tonal shifts with his huge charisma.
It's a fucking critic.
I mean, that last part was pretty good. I mean, the last little bit was.
There was something with the tech podcast I was listening to, then this old tech journalist, and they were reading a review of something. There was like some word that was dropped in there, and they're like, oh yeah, sometimes there's like side bets to try to get ridiculous words into your articles, and I feel like that's what critics do all the time. It's like they just stick big words in there that nobody understands to make themselves sound smarter when they're reviewing fucking a Batista murder movie. Just like, hey, settle the fuck down. You got paid. Stop being so mad.
It's a bunch of big dudes beating each other up. We get we know what we're going to see.
We know what we're getting. Just like this show talking about SmackDown.
Yeah, we know what we're getting.
We know what we're getting. Side note, I talked about it on Awesome Cast, but I want to talk about for Patreon if we have time. Riz asked me about the nights at the Renaissance Fair.
Oh.
And how the nights at your Renaissance Fair are probably pussies in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the first Renaissance Fair that I went to.
Do they bring out light tubes?
Close.
They might as well have it.
Let me say, if this stuff got pulled out at a show that I was filming, much like when Pondo had a light tube and nobody told me, I would be like, "What the fuck are we doing right now?"
Nobody told you or the camera people.
No, nobody told us. Like when Jason Gory has to be the one to settle you down. You know? Like, what is going on, man? What's going on? Anyways, speaking of light tubes and things that concern me, go over to IndyWrestling.us. Please subscribe to it so I'll become less concerned. So we can, Yeah. So IndyWrestling.us, you can see what we're talking about. Madman Pondo versus Gory at the last VCW show. You
Great
can
match.
see 880 Wrestling, a lot of great stuff happening over there. Again, to my knowledge, the only weekly training school live stream, the longest episodic live stream training school show that I'm aware of. That I'm aware of. You know, I'm going to get that. Can somebody write that line down for me so I can send it to Toddy for announcing on Thursday? But kind of but it's going to have all these allegedly, potentially the longest running episodic live stream training show. Asterisk hashtag Thursday night fights. So we have a lot of fun over there. We are going to be live streaming again. Thursday Night Fights is going to be going down this Thursday night, live and free for everybody. And we will be no. The thing we're doing Friday is not actually wrestling. So, but I'm getting confused already. But no, we do have APWF has been doing some great shows on there. Getting some rave reviews from matches there. I remember we were at Big League Pro last week, and everybody kept putting over the Spencer Slade and Bill Collier match. From APWF. And there's a lot of interesting cross-pollinating there. Big League Pro, of course, had Pretty Boy Smooth against Myron Reed. I think he's currently a TNA guy, if I'm not mistaken. I know MLW he's been big with. So a lot of great stuff going on there. I think everybody's has been supporting. I love when people pop up and say, "Hey, I've been watching" and stuff like because we don't know our size. We just see a big number and some emails that I don't know who they are. And there's not a good feedback mechanism on our network.
It's so weird when people come up to me and go, "Hey, I was watching the thing." I was like, "Oh God," and they liked it.
Yeah, you forget that people watch this stuff.
Yeah,
or watching us right now, Riz. Literally right now. It might be through the internet. It might be from the taco stand across the street. Actually, it's closed right now, but still, you get the idea. But anyways,
it could still be in there, even if it's closed.
Wait, is it closed, or is it just closed?
Oh, it's past closing time. And yes, the consumer alert sticker is still on the window. Theirs, not mine. So
they probably have more.
No, I don't know how that works.
Also, I just checked. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry,
yeah, no.
You're doing the thing. You're doing the thing.
Oh. But anyways, including that is RWA's big show this weekend. Is it Fall Free for All? Is that what we're doing? Is it? Yes. Yes,
I believe it is.
I think it's a fall free for all. I think it's a September show. We've only been doing it for 15 years. The same, almost all the same show titles every year. But anyways, I don't know. We changed August. That weirded me out. But it was like, oh, it's just a Renegade Rumble now. Okay, goodbye aggression, I guess. But anyways, including this weekend is RWA's Fall Free for All. Again, Rhino and J-Rock is one of the marquee matches that's going to be a part of that. But before I go to the Titan, Riz apparently has something to bring up. That's a follow-up.
So I wanted to follow up on the Killers Game reviews for a bit. Which one had do you think? So which one had the lower score? Killers Game,
IMDb, right? Oh,
or The Crow?
Oh, I bet The Crow did. I understand why people wouldn't like that. There was, listen, I'm a big fan of the original.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the best one since the original. But
so that seems like a big but.
A lot of anger, very late on the heart, right? I still quote things from the original movie because they hit a lot of chords. This one, okay, and the answer is?
So it is The Crow with a 23% Rotten Tomato ranking.
Wow.
And a 64% of the audience.
And both movies were wildly unnecessarily gory, too. Actually, no, Crow was gorier.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it.
It's rough. It's fun. It's fun for that, but it's like.
So what you're saying
is a good way. That's a good review for a movie. It's rough. It's
but it's like it's like ooh, reactively rough. But I would watch it again. I'm not buying the DVD. You know what I mean? I am buying the Beetlejuice DVD though. That is in my rewatch list. So
so you're saying that nobody in like 5-10 years is going to wrestle as Skarsgård's Crow, unless they're Darby Allin.
I mean, Darby Allin. I mean, I really
Darby
think the
Allin
Crow
was
is
already
dressed
there.
as Darby Allin. So
All right, we'll do a little crossover. Do you think? Because I honestly think Darby Allin could possibly be the first AEW person to break into movies from AEW. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So who do you if outside of him, and I would say MJF would be probably the other option really.
He's already stepping into it. He was in the Von Erich movie. He got cut a lot of
Yeah.
it, but I think he got an EP role or something.
Like to actually have a movie based around them though. Who do you think would be the first AEW star?
God, I think he could do something with Swerve.
Oh, I always forget
Hang
about
on,
him.
Swerve,
Until somebody
man.
brings him up, and then I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's because everybody's a wrestler. You know, nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing though.
Like-
Like, I feel like so many people in AEW are there because they want to be wrestlers. You know
They're
what I
not
mean?
characters, yeah.
And
Right.
not characters, and not from there. Like, I know a lot of them do roles and things like that, but like Miro, I know Rusev was doing some stuff, and there's a lot of that. But
if we're going by AEW roster, we are omitting the the best performance of any wrestler in a movie. That is Adam Copeland in Money Plane.
Oh, jeez.
I still haven't seen that. Wait, hold on. What's it on?
I was
it's
thinking
it's
more about
Hulu, isn't
popular
it?
from AEW.
I believe it. No, I think it's an actual movie
It is.
because it was Adam Copeland
And Kelsey
and
Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer. Mm-hmm.
Like that alone, I need to see it. Oh, I have so many.
I was gonna
bad
say I'm
movies
gonna
to
write
watch.
that one down.
I gotta watch Buffy the Vampire. I have to purchase and watch the Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. because I just watched the video about that. What were we just saying? Money Plane. Money Plane. Okay, putting that on the list. Also need to watch They Live Again. Money Plane is now on.
So it's
Hoopla.
Kelsey Grammer, Adam Copeland,
Oh, it's-
and Denise Richards.
Oh my
What?
god! I guess what I'm watching live. It is on my library app.
And this was a movie
Oh
that
my
came out in
God.
2020.
2020. I am borrowing it right now. I think I have the app on my Apple TV. I think this is what I'm watching. I hit play right now, guys. This is great.
That's
I
crazy.
love the Carnegie Library system.
So this was a theatrical release in 2020.
I'm sure it was a light release.
I was gonna say yeah.
Wait,
Wait, in
like,
July.
2020 in July?
Yeah.
Then it practically didn't get out.
Yeah, I was gonna
So-
say when they release it to TV because we weren't allowed out of the house.
It had to been like both or something, right? Because I feel like it was on Hulu at the same time. So that's when.
Oh, now I need to check their Rotten Tomatoes. Go ahead, Sorg.
Anyways, this section is about RWA because it's this week and Tim Titans here. A lot of great stuff happening. But let's say you've been you're officially under the RWA Sports Media banner, and RWA has been around for a while, but it's been very I guess old school in a lot of the ways when we've been working with them. And it was really cool to see over the last year, like you've kind of come on and have been obviously developing, and we've been talking, I know, backstage about things to improve on and what we can do with the everybody knows in independent wrestling, allegedly, maybe you don't have a lot of assets.
Yeah,
Let's
you
just
gotta
say
try
that.
It's trying to get eyes on there and figuring out better ways to get eyes on the product itself. is
Yeah,
probably
and
the
like,
biggest mission on my.
yeah, and we don't have the highest end of equipment available to us all the time backstage or anything like
Heck
that. It's
no.
all,
There's been times where we did it on a cell phone. So.
yeah, but that's okay as long as you're doing the right things around it and stuff like that. So this has been a developing thing, and I love that. Like I don't even know when you're doing this because you're like in the recesses of the thing. We're doing our live stream out there, or at least the crew is. They really kind of take care of their own thing these days. But I've really appreciated like how much like when I do a pre-show video for the live stream every month, and I'm loving how much content I'm finding to work with. And it's most of the roster, and it's pushing the stories. It's so much more than the wrap up that we used to do. We used to just grab, the two announcers, be like, "Hey, talk about the show." And maybe we'll bring a wrestler in and talk to him for a minute. And it was like, as the ring's tearing down, and it's so weird. Like you're really doing like, recently I had the fortune to do those New Japan post-match comments where literally like they just pull them aside and everybody goes to the logo screen and says a few words or somebody gets attacked or something, and you guys are doing those kinds of things. Like tell me a little bit about that kind of endeavor and how you've seen that grown over the last year.
I'd say the biggest thing is it started off as just kind of Quinn having the idea. And then once he told me what the idea was, I tried to take his thought, his vision and put it out. Like a lot of the part is he wants it to feel raw. So I'll try to grab as many people as I can directly as soon as they come through the curtain, get them up into the promo room, like get them while they still have that emotion in them, that adrenaline. Like I think that's a big part of it is figuring out what's going to get eyes on it while also getting the people in their emotional while they're still in that mindset, if you will.
Yeah. Kind of the raw reactions of things, right?
Yeah,
so.
I say it's definitely been cool watching my stuff in the pre-show. I stand behind like in Gorilla and just like I made that.
Well, it is also interesting, like as you go, and I know you're kind of in that stage where you're kind of growing into it. But when it starts coming off, like I like when all of us went, none of us want to. I'm sure you'll cringe if you look at your stuff from a year ago, like we all do, right?
I can't edit videos of myself. I can't stand the sound of my own voice or to watch myself. So I don't know how you do this much stuff. I have a hard time editing videos of myself.
Notice I don't edit a lot. That's why everything's live.
Anymore. I never listen to things I'm on.
No. I don't listen to this show more than I have to, but I am in my own ears all the time. And hear promos and have to do those clips and things like that, right? So I get used to it, Hey, we learned this week that Riz has a voice for radio.
Oh,
yeah, that was a weird moment.
Yeah, it does get weird. But also that's what happens when you get on the microphone once a week and talk to people, and try to be intelligible for a little bit, right? I actually have the problem where I know that we're offshooting here. I have the problem because it's been explained to me by several of my friends. I do not talk clearly unless I have a microphone in front of me. I'm very mumbly and nobody can hear me, and I'm very tired. And I'm very tired before the show. But there's a I think you're familiar with this as well. Like there's kind of when the red light's on and you step out on stage, you turn the thing on, or you know what I mean? Like
see that's been the biggest benefit for this for me is I get to be behind the camera instead of in front of it. So like I'm where I wanted to be technically now.
Good. You found your place. And I think that's good. I do not discount people that were in the ring and moved to an out of the ring position. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, everything I read online was that was the best way to get into the business itself was go through the training, prove that you can do it. Like, so that was I've always wanted to be a backstage person. It just seemed like this was the correct way to get there.
Yeah. And you respect what's happening in the ring, right?
Yeah.
So
that's. You could. I'm an athletic. You can say all that stuff, but you can't say I don't respect what's going on in there.
I've had this idea in my head that every one of my videographers should get in the ring and take a bump a couple of times.
It changes you. It definitely it makes you think about it different for sure.
Riz, we're gonna have you take bump class on Thursday.
You could take a Johnny Norris choke slam. Those are fun.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Look, I've seen what happens at RWA with our videographers, Sorg.
Yes.
I need something in writing and in contract form.
I mean,
this is wrestling.
You did have a videographer eliminating somebody from a Rumble last show at RWA though, so you never know, man.
We haven't seen him yet.
No, we still haven't found him. We still have we ran the video on here like he ran out
I
the
wasn't
door.
Gonna bring that up. I was just gonna give him his props. I kind of was I didn't want to bring the mood down here by pointing up the fact that nobody knows where Matt is.
Like we don't think he's coming back for Saturday. Like we're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do for Saturday for that position. He's been there for years.
And he hasn't read a message in the group text since then.
No.
So.
Matt Carlins is disappeared. He had his wrestling debut and now he's gone. So
having been on the receiving end of Malachi Gage, I don't blame him though. If I could have, I would have disappeared. But
and the amazing part was he wasn't touched at all. Well, I guess he was pulled out of the ring. I suppose that is something that happened. But anyways, that shows you how wild it gets at RWA in general. So from that, so obviously there's that. We got a big show coming up this week. The highlights, obviously Rhino's going to be there. I think this is Rhino's first time at RWA. We've had some ECW alums, especially in this last year. We've, of course, had Sandman a couple of times. Actually, his tag match teaming with John McChesley just got posted, I think, a couple weeks ago on our channel on YouTube. You can go watch that for free. But also, we've had Tommy Dreamer has popped up as well. So as you, as somebody backstage kind of reporting stuff, are you excited about seeing Rhino kind of roll into West Newton for the first time?
I am super excited to see Rhino. I was a huge Rhino mark growing up. See, J-Rock has found a way to either like outsmart or do everything in his power to get over. Like, I'm very curious to see what his plan is to try to overcome Rhino, but I'm going to be honest, I don't see it happening. It's just Rhino's a force in my mind.
Like, to me, being from like starting in my Pittsburgh independent wrestling timeline in 2006, I have seen so many Rhino matches.
I've seen so many Rhino matches this year, man.
Yeah, I know. But just to know that I'm going to see another one Saturday is actually exciting.
I don't think I've seen Rhino live since he was in ECW.
Oh wow!
So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
But I'm loving the talent that is coming in here. Gianni Michael Enrico, of course, he's going to be taking on Eli for the No Limits Championship. I know there's been an ongoing feud there.
That is match of the night potential, by the way.
Absolutely.
Those two definitely are gonna tear the house down.
Finally, we're having a contract signing between Preston Everest, the real Super Hentai, quote unquote, NHL Supreme. I see.
No. Don't quote. There's no quotes. He is Super Hentai.
Okay. Why isn't his picture Super Hentai in this one?
I don't know. Somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's the graphic department on this one?
Yeah,
Looks like he had goggles on still.
Yeah, that's Preston Everest. That's not Super Hentai.
The Gambinos and the Wise Guys are mixing it up again.
This is actually, I heard backstage that this was called by the Gambinos because the Wise Guys were technically banned from RWA, but then they started sending people in on the Gambinos. So I believe that the Gambinos went to Derek and requested that they let the Wise Guys back so that they can handle this business. So I'm excited. This could be a tear the house down match too.
I heard speculation
literally tear the house down.
that Emily D is collecting plastic bags again, and they're not for recycling.
Speaking of camera people, that's another one y'all lost, huh?
Yeah. This seems to keep happening at RWA, huh?
Yes, Sorg.
I mean, between all of that and Chachi got hit in the nuts by Jock Sampson, that's why he's backstage now.
Is that RWA?
Yeah, it was RWA. It was Chachi's birthday, and Jock Sampson gave him a birthday present. that would have been a fall free for all because his birthday was last weekend. Yep. Happy birthday, Chachi! Yeah, I think he yelled "Happy birthday, Chachi!" And
We're
then
not going to kick you in the nuts again.
You saw the camera drop, and you heard a cowbell. So
the camera was safe.
The camera was fine. The camera was definitely fine. A lot of great stuff happening there. AJ Alexander back from Japan again. Going to be a part of that as well. Warhorse is going to be back against our friends the STDs.
I think AJ's fighting Dennis Gregory, correct?
Yeah, Dennis Gregory. So that'll be good.
We haven't seen him in a couple months. So
yep, he popped up at the Rumble. We got Gory and Rev against Mike Law, and I'm not familiar with this Big Cuzzo character.
Did you see the video that Mike Law released standing next to him, though? He looks like a giant.
Oh, yeah?
Mike Law released a video with him where, I don't know if you stood next to Mike Law, but this dude towers over Mike Law. This looks like a very, very large gentleman.
See, I'm gonna watch it. I know I shared it, but I don't know if I watched the whole thing. I'm really bad about watching videos myself. I'm more of a publisher. No. Honestly, I don't get the opportunity because I do a lot of shows. I don't get the opportunity to catch up with what the card is and the video promos going into it until we're setting things up for that pre-show. And I'm just like, and that's when like it's literally like the day before the show. I'm like, we're doing what now with those shows? RWA, VCW, TPW, all of it. I was like, wait, who's gonna be there? Unless we do like a good breakdown like this. Like I don't know what's going on. I like Cowpoke Paul's going to be there against Dior Salvador. So a lot of great stuff happening there. I'm trying to find that video with
That's
Mike
another
Waller as
good
well.
match that has a lot of potential.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
tag you in it. Sorg.
Outside the Royal, we haven't seen, or outside the Rumble, we haven't seen either one of them in a couple months either. So,
Do we know the status of Tony Kincaid's jacket after his Rumble spot?
do we know the status of Tony Kincaid?
Well, he usually comes and does these previews, and he didn't respond, and here you
wondering,
are.
yeah.
So I'm kind
I
of
mean-
concerned. So we lost the cameraman, we lost Kincaid, so we're kind of evened out, I guess. But and also not to mention, Titan, you made your RWA wrestling debut.
I did. It went unfortunate for me, but I'm very happy I got to actually check that off the bucket list. That was like the one promotion that I've always wanted to work in. So it was very cool to get to work with them, and I appreciate that opportunity for sure.
That's great. A lot of fun there. So, of course, you're from, we've worked other promotions before, and RWA's been a different animal entirely. I know you're coming under the Quinn Magna area and everything like that, and you're familiar with Quinn from the other place. What was your impression kind of going into RWA? I think did you not attend as a spectator in previous years as well? So you're really familiar, right?
I actually did attend as a spectator. Like I remember Ryan Mitchell and Jock Sampson, all them guys. Like
okay.
so, I'm pretty old school. I actually went to high school with Ryan Mitchell.
Oh man.
So yeah, we both grew up in that area. That's why that was kind of like the bucket list one for me, because it was the closest one to where I grew up at.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, like a very different wild crew out there as well. So
I remember Super Oprah being there, and like so, we're talking older times RWA for sure.
oh boy, I don't even remember the Super Oprah appearances.
I
remember
I'm
Super
trying
Beast.
to think of who Super Oprah wrestled one time against a hillbilly gimmick. I don't remember, but I remember they did a over the rope dive that was just bananas. I think that's mainly the reason I remember them being there, was that one spot they did.
Is it
Wait.
Aggression 6 on August 9th, 2014? And
Is it Tracy? Is it Tracy Smothers?
no. There's been a
No.
lot of hillbillies at RWA. Okay.
No, I don't remember
It's
that
kind of
one.
been a lot.
I think it was a hillbilly gimmick.
Was it
I
Bronco?
could be wrong,
Was
though.
it Bronco McBride?
Oh yeah, that's.
No.
Huh?
I would have remembered Bronco. I think it might have been somebody one-off, maybe. I'm not
Oh my
positive.
God. Aggression 6. I think I know which one this is. I think this is the one. Is this not the one that had Matt Hardy on it?
You know what? I think it is now that you say that.
And Bruce Pritchard was there.
Yeah,
because they
I
were
think they did a
doing-
rewards. Or, no, that was a couple months later. They did the awards ceremony thing.
We
But yeah, I think you're right. I think that was. I remember the Matt Hardy show. I don't know if it was the same one, but I definitely remember the Matt Hardy show.
Aggression 6 was definitely the one with Matt Hardy. This is the one where, God, was that 2014? That seems crazy. No, it couldn't have been 2014. Hold on a second. But this is
Maybe 16.
Matt Hardy versus Ryan Mitchell. No, this was a it was like a bar rescue thing they were trying to do a premiere
Oh,
for at the
yeah.
time.
Oh,
so
they're
we
still that's the flyer guy still from that, I believe.
what's that?
The guy that makes the flyers, I believe he's from that.
Yeah, he
still.
started
Yeah.
that. He started with them
Yeah.
at for we still have him. I
thought
think
so,
I think
yeah.
he's in Iron Skull Productions, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's still in England, so he's never been
Yep.
to one of the shows. So and he's still doing them. So
Yeah.
it's great, So and they look good. And I love that his flyers look different than like everybody else in the area too. So I appreciate that.
There's a lot of video game parody flyers now. I've noticed recently. That seems to be the new trend.
Oh, that's always been a thing. I loved. I was a really big fan that when they were at the theater, Rise was really good with the movie parody flyers.
Yeah.
I believe Jesse and the Mark was the one working on those. Those were a lot of fun to sometimes they got a little weird, where it didn't look like a wrestling show, but but generally they were very, very good and very, very fun. So so I did appreciate that. So anyways, RWA, it's fall free for all. It's going to be this Saturday in West Newton. If you're in the area, please come down. It's you can't no matter how much we do on the video, there's only so much we can do to bring that vibe of RWA and being there in the crowd for this, because it really is. I had a fortune a couple months ago. since we're crewed there, and I happened to be there, and I just sat at the DVD table all night, and it was just so much fun to be out there and feel the crowd for that show, and I really appreciate it because literally sometimes
it definitely feels like electric in the building. Sometimes
absolutely,
it's a great building, like great crowd.
Yeah, I mean, it's so often if I'm a producer in the back, I got the headphones on and I'm hearing through one ear what the crowd's doing. And I literally have to ask, was the crowd hot for this? Because I don't know. I'm trying to bring them up, and I don't know how. Like I'm trying to work on the mix, and we don't have a specific person to do that. So I'm like, was the crowd good tonight? And they were like, yeah, they were really good. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not hearing that. I'm not feeling that in that way that the wrestlers are out there around the crowd. So really, I do the RWA is one of those places where you can't mistake it. So kind of thing. So, but no, that's always a really cool spot. So go check them out, RWALive.com for information, and of course, IndyWrestling.us will be live on the network, IndyWrestling.network, and over on the YouTube page for members, for ringside members, will be live on there. And there will be. We usually do a free preview of a match or two as well, and you guys actually do a couple extra interviews in advance. So, and we'll see if we have a cameraman again. Or we'll see if another one becomes part of a match somehow. Who knows?
Or if the other commentator shows up.
If it is another commentator, who knows? Well, does he still have the purple suit? I hope so. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I kind of don't hope so. I'm not going to lie. I kind of hope he don't.
Well, if he shows up, it just makes it better if he's in that damn purple suit to me, okay? So I don't know how Nolan Connors has not. I guess he did slap him one time, didn't he? Am I not mistaken on that?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of these people have slapped Tony at this point. I've lost count.
That's true. That is true. The slap count. We'll do. Hey, you know what? RWA Sports Media needs to do some side shots about counters on how many times we've given up one time for J-Rock, how many times Tony Kincaid's been slapped.
That isn't a bad idea.
How many times
it's like that drinking game where you watch something and be like, hey, take a drink every time Tony gets slapped.
Can we put together an RWA drinking game? Because
take a drink every time you see Dr. Feelbad on the outside.
Oh yeah. every time watch the Rumble, how many times did Dr. Feelbad book somebody that was just got eliminated by walking up to them while they're on the floor?
Just shaking their hand.
Oh my God, that was a story. That was a wonderful story I got to hear from that show. Anyway, I won't say who. Maybe I will on Patreon. But apparently, somebody got eliminated, and he walked right up to them while they're still like on the ground, like recovering. And it was like,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, right?
I heard the same story.
You want a regular job here? And it was great. It was great. And we know there was a lot of new faces that popped up in the Rumble, so you never know who's going to be coming back. I guess you will soon if all things work out. So, anyways. Cool. Very cool. Check that out. And we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and see what's going on with AEW. I know they're leading up for their new Wrestle Dream, and there's a lot of things with white T-shirts and plastic bags that we got to figure out in the fallout from last week's pay-per-view. So we'll get that. We'll be right back in a couple minutes for you after this.
I'm Eamon.
I'm Merlin.
And we're a gay.
And his NB.
Are you a reality television connoisseur?
Do you like it discussed from an LGBTQ lens?
If so, A Gay and His NB is the podcast for you.
Hear us break down all your favorite guilty pleasure reality shows from Bravo, Drag Race, and just about everything in between.
Listen to A Gay and His NB on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Wrestling Mayhem Show. Sorg here in the Sorgatron Media Studios. The dog went home, but we do have Timothy Titan is still here. RWA Sports Media. Oops, I bumped that thing over there. I got the zooms up, and also the Riz is here as well, and he's been reading us reviews on the break for Money Plane. I love it.
Some of these critics have like you mentioned have just too many words for it's a fucking horrible
You know
movie.
what you don't have with pro wrestling fandom? Reviews with too many words. Okay.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you do, Sorg.
Man, I feel like I gave shout outs to like 2 people that were on PWI last week when I was doing the clips. And I realized there's like a ton of other people that I never even mentioned, but I also didn't read it to know who else was on there. It was literally whoever shared their shit.
Now?
I think it's been out, but it was digital or physical form somewhere because people were screen capping it. So I don't know. I might try to get a physical copy. I like to try to, but I don't know. We'll see. Why don't my Ninja Turtles comic up here? Sorry, I'm playing in Hoopla. Anyways, Riz is going to be the next one. Oh yeah. Well, Riz is backstage, so I think Riz. No. We don't have this problem other places. Like, it's RWA we have this problem with everybody being accosted in one way or another.
There was that one time where Christian Noir kind of wanted to fight me.
Yeah, but he's his own animal, man. You can't
That's
you can't blame that on the
Noir,
promotion.
though. That doesn't mean much, you know. It's his own gravity. I remembered it this time.
Ooh,
Anyways,
I found the entire list.
A PWI? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, we can play with that later, maybe. Anyways, in the meantime, AEW did stuff last week. No, actually, but I caught up with things. Man, I do have to say, Collision is turning into a B/C show more and more as they go here. It feels, I don't know. I think it is because I think they're filming it along with Dynamite, and I think the crowd is just worn out by then. In general. But I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means for I'm still here and I'll watch it and I'm down for it. But I'm watching Rampage from this past week, and they're setting up for a they're setting up for some RWA tag team matches and everything like that, ROH, excuse me. Jeez. Ring of Honor tag team matches and stuff. And they're talking about, like, let's do a fight without honor and all this. Is like, and I know this is not how TV deals work, and I think we talked about last week how supposedly there might be a deal with Fox that AEW might be coming over with Shockwave that they trademarked recently. That is purely speculation on this part, by the way. But I keep watching Rampage, and it's got the vibes. I kind of wish it would go straight Ring of Honor. But I also understand that they're not going to probably do something without the AEW brand on TV because that's the value right now, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of my vibe there. Do you have any thoughts on that? I don't know if you guys are watching those shows or not. Dynamite seems to be definitely the A show you need to watch to know what's going on. But there are some interesting matches happening here and there.
I watch more clips. I find myself more watching like highlights and stuff. Like, there's nothing that's keeping my interest to make me watch the entire shows.
Sure, that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
So I find myself watching highlights videos and stuff more. I really like the Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly team, though. I really like that. I love
and
that.
Ishii,
team right
don't
there.
forget Ishii.
Yeah,
Ishii
I think Ishii went home though because he hasn't been on for a week or two. So
yeah, so he wasn't there last match I seen of them.
No, but no, it's. I hate the name. I still absolutely hate the name. I think the conglomeration is the most convoluted name, but also it kind of works with that crew, right?
If you look at I like it because of their shirts. Their shirt looks like somebody took a bunch of letters out of a magazine, put them onto a piece of paper, and then copied it.
I think I have a Chicago tourist shirt with the same kind of style to it.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, in wrestling at this point, it's make your version of something else. So.
Oh, absolutely. So, and actually, that would make sense. This is Pro Wrestling Tees, right? So they probably literally saw that out on the pier where I bought mine, and says, "Oh, we can do a thing with conglomeration like that, but it's some more letters, so let's make a different lay, kind of deal." So. But that's the thing. Like we've randomly brought back. I know people are gonna piss on this, but we randomly brought back the Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy feud about the $7,000 jacket from like 3 or 4 years ago, and resurrected this feud over it. And again, I think we were talking about a lot last week about things. Don't tell me they're not doing long-term storytelling and remembering stuff like this, right? Again, it's fun. It's a different thing. It's I want to see more matches. I'm here to see what, a conduct call somebody a bitch or flip off the crowd. I'm here for the women's wrestling that does happen on there. Seeing what Mariah May. I'm loving the Nigel McGuinness reveal. That we're leading into that. We're finally getting something out of that. They did ask him, Tony, I think, asked him if Mariah May's kiss is what got him into the ring at Wembley Stadium, and referenced how the internet thinks that's what happened. So, again, it's still just a fun place to watch wrestling. And again, we've always, and again, I'll say that differentiate that we do say we watch WWE to watch a good show. We watch AEW to watch good wrestling, and both.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And both.
If you want spots, that's the place to go. If you're a spot monkey, that's the place to watch.
Not even just spot monkeys, just matches, right? Matches that mostly, for the most part, keep your attention.
Mm-hmm. They definitely have some matchups that I want to see. Like, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to see Hologram versus Ricochet.
Right. You're more okay. This is the thing. Because Tim, I always had a thing on show where I am a fan of Shinsuke Nakamura. This is when things were kind of with WWE a few years ago, right? Okay, and I was like, I love Shinsuke Nakamura. I want Shinsuke Nakamura on my TV. But based on what's happening in WWE, I don't care what's happening with Shinsuke Nakamura. Has been my thing.
Mine is Asuka.
Right. Mm-hmm. Ricochet could be in that boat too. I like Ricochet. I've seen Ricochet do amazing things on a Lucha Underground or in New Japan or other shows, right? PWG, whatever, right? I've seen the clips. I've seen the memes. I've seen the highlights in the matches. And while there was definitely some great stuff he did at WWE, it's like, okay, you're only going so much being that style, right? He can go and they can put him and Ospreay in a ring, maybe at a Wembley. You know what I mean? We did, and have that crazy indie, quote unquote, super indie, if you will, New Japan, crazy match.
A gymnastics match.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And there's a place for that. Just like there's a place for some people for deathmatch wrestling, hardcore wrestling, Goto move wrestling,
wrestling
like
fans
that.
will do one.
DDT Pro,
Yeah. Wrestling fans won't do one thing, and that is not yuck somebody else's yum.
You know what I appreciated this week? MJF was being interviewed. I am a fan of MJF's no bullshit interviews he's got, because somebody's like, God, this is the equivalent of Biden put on a Trump hat last week. Not to get political, but it's kind of the same thing. MJF's on there, and he's like, yeah, I watched the other product. I'm like, oh, you're allowed to? He's like, what fucking world are we in where we're all wrestlers and don't want to see what the other guys are doing and want to know and want to get better and want to see how people that are better than you are getting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and like and that's like that this and I get time and everything like that. But it does blow my mind when somebody says, I don't want to watch WWE, and you're a wrestler, right? On any level. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. If you are not watching at least a little bit of everything, you know what I mean? Why people keep, my wife had this last week, this happens up every once in a while, how I will go produce a show, go home, and put on whatever that show was and try to catch up on it. And she's like, how can you watch all this? And it's like, it's twofold for me. It's like, well, one, I know that guy. We worked with that guy last week. You remember that guy. You're a fan of that referee from that show, kind of thing. But also it is like, I want to be better at what I do. I don't watch football, but if I'm at Red Robin and they got a football game on, I'm looking at the screen because I want to see what they're doing.
Camera angles, even if you're just looking at camera
angles, graphics, presentation. It's all so important. If there's something, the debate last week, okay, how do they present this? Okay, that's that. Like, what if we do, hypothetically, like we did last year, a themed show where it was called a World Series, and we had scoreboard in the corner, and Riz and Missy put together this amazing package in the system, and that had the scoreboard and everything, and everybody loved it. That kind of presentation, right? How do you do, because I've had to do this once, how do I take we had a Ring of Honor Pure Rules match. What's his name? The guy with the athletes, the premier athletes, Josh Woods, right?
Oh.
He was the champion against Shane. And I was like, I'm doing the graphics package for this, We just did a 60-minute Iron Man match, and I was like, hey, WWE did it this format, and I want to kind of mimic that because that's what people have seen lately, right? So, and again, I'm always a fan of I want to bring the indie wrestling close to what you're used to, so you give it a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if it's presented the same, then it's like it's not a bad presentation. I completely get what you're saying.
It's a
like
good
you're more willing to accept something that's presented in a good way.
Exactly. That's always been the philosophy. But also, again, it's like that understanding that I'm very, very, very interested in all these new camera angles everybody's using, right? And again, they got way more assets and cameras. So like, it was like, okay, how can I do that with 2 camera guys?
I'm looking into a drone right now that you wear a bracelet and the drone flies around and captures you for refs to wear.
Yes. Oh,
so the ref could wear it.
I love it. The ref, one of the wrestlers, something like that. You can imagine comes out,
and it would just hover around the ring the whole time. Like you can set it to how far you want it to be away from the bracelet.
If we don't have Tad Jarvis do that for a match, I don't know what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like the big social media guy, right? Can we just what happened, Riz? I think you were part of this when everybody saw that ref cam on the ear at SummerSlam, and I'm in the stand, so I didn't catch what was happening until like they fucked it up on the screen, and in the first match, and immediately I get a link from somebody that sends me like this thing's $80 at Walmart.
Again, that was me.
Yeah, it was all Riz. It was like I was like, Riz, why are you encouraging this right now? Because this is this is a problem. But and obviously theirs is going to be more expensive than what we had because it's actually tied in and seemed pretty in sync, So like I was interested in that. But man, it's also interesting to see what things they still can't get right. To me, like
what got me on Raw?
Huh?
They had all them intros where everybody's coming walking in. CM Punk gets out of his car and never shut the door and walked in. Who walks away from their car and doesn't shut the damn door, man?
And they're so good at the details lately, and they missed that one, right?
Yeah,
but also like that's how
real quick.
You can also sell. That's how distraught he was over Drew and the Hell in a Cell and the gravity of the situation, right? You haven't been stressed out and just left your car open, walking out and be like, oh shit, that's right, kind of thing. Like that's kind of relatable. But even things like they'll use, we saw these with the corner cameras all the time when they use them at AEW. Now they're the PTZs that are the top down. And I'll say this, and I'm going to ruin this for you guys because you probably never noticed this, and I do. Look at the ring mat and notice what color it is. It's a different shade of white, bluish, gray, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's the color doesn't match because frankly, it's a different camera. Most of the cameras you're going to have around wrestling are relatively the same camera in every position, or at least high enough level of a camera that you can match those. And then you go to, okay, now we're going to put this one over here, and and it's like a PTZ. It's just not going to match at all, because you can't hang a giant production camera from the ceiling most of the time. So that's one of those things. Hey, throw a GoPro in the corner. Great. It's not going to look like the rest of it. You know what I mean?
No.
And it's hard to do that live. We use multiple cameras when we do highlights for post for our clients, GoPros, cell phones, and big 4K cameras. But we throw filters over it. So it kind of mushes all that.
See, I learned about that at the last show because I do 2 cameras and one of them kept fogging up because of how hot it was, but the other one was fine.
Yep.
So like the one angle would be fine and then it would just get blurry suddenly when it fogged up.
Yep. I noticed that in one of those. I think you were doing like an outtake one or something, and I saw that. So and it's gonna happen, but you learn to do that. You learn to deal with it, right? And how to kind of manage that. And then also like using like maybe a cell phone and a handy cam or something, right? And they're not gonna match entirely. You know?
Yeah.
But sometimes that can be purposeful. I remember watching. It was when they did a special on JBL when they were interviewing him. It was a network special, and I'm watching this, and they got like 3 cameras on the guy. And he's got like some of them have the soft focus, some of them are regular, kind of thing. And I was just like, the colors are so different on this, and I was like, okay, that's intentional and that's okay, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm sitting down, I was like, well, I have this camera and this camera, but I can make that the style. Again, it's kind of like everything doesn't have to be perfect kind of thing. I talk way too much video production on this wrestling show, probably kind of things. But this is, if I'm just like gazing off into the distance, this is what's going through my head. Because I know this is a thing, and people are asking if I'm okay. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm literally trying to organize the production and the look and style and how we're going to handle this thing 2 months from now.
I say, well, me and you are not going to be good together because I literally spend the majority of my day editing YouTube videos for other people. So
well, there you go. That's it. And that's I mean, I'm literally posting videos every day at this point for these podcasts and other things and getting stuff ready for clients. So but that's it. I think that if you're going to be good at something, there's somebody I listen to online that says you got to be a fan of the process. I would hope, and I don't know if this is a thing, but like for me, I love the setup, I love the teardown, I love the show itself. I love doing, and I got to think about wrestlers. A lot of times they're rolling in, setting up the ring, doing the show, and then helping with teardown, right?
Yeah.
Ideally,
at
least. So that is the process. I hope the best of them enjoy putting the ring together, because that's you're building like this idea that you build your office, perform, do your job, and then tear down the office and move it away has been like kind of like a motivational thing for me in the last few years. So
I've always tried to, whenever I was on shows, I always tried to be there more for the fact of like, I knew it was getting put together right even. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be there to watch it get put together because I'm trusting that ring tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You would know exactly what you're getting into, right? And if you're part of turning the screws, then you're a part of making sure that is okay for you when that happens. So obviously, as you get into bigger shows, it's not all. I don't know, man. Like, we're watching all the New Japan guys putting rings together and stuff, right? It's just kind of depends, right?
I mean, it ain't gonna put itself together. Somebody got to do it.
Absolutely. So, anyways, good stuff there. Hey, let's give a shout out. You guys weren't here, but I gotta, as I stated, it's the perfect pepperoni pizza for pups that love
Puppy
pepperoni. For puppy power. I lured a dog into my abode with the pepperoni today. Actually, it mostly followed me. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to leave you out here. There's literally a train over there 20 feet from our studio. So I want to make sure you're safe, and we're going to find you a home. Thank you, social media, again, for that. It took the duration of, let's see, it was about 5:15 that I think I found the dog walking back with the our friends at Slice. From our friends at Slice, and about a block up here. And we found the neighbors, and they took the dog at about 8:20 between shows.
Wow.
So don't say social media is shitty. Okay, you can get some good stuff done when you're focused on it. And you also get some good pizza from our friends at Slice on Broadway. SliceOnBroadway.com, multiple locations around Pittsburgh. The OG, the original, right up the trolley tracks from this studio in the neighborhood of Beechview of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They've been supporting the Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza for well over a decade and a half now, maybe we're getting up on. So thank you so much for those guys for supporting the shows on Tuesday night and making sure some of us don't forget to eat, or we can save a dog from their own devices. Anyways, thank you so much to them for supporting the show. Guys, what did you learn from wrestling this week? Who would like to go first?
Oh, I thought we were going to say, what did I learn from the show? I learned that if you say apparently in front of anything, that you can get away with just about anything you want.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, that's it. Allegedly, sorry.
You failed
Allegedly.
the quiz.
I learned that Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed shouldn't be in the same room together
Oh my God.
because they are going to destroy everything they come in contact with.
They threw a fan.
That was good. That was a very good. I'd be lying if I said I didn't pop for that.
Oh my gosh, that is the best thing I've seen since Keith Lee yeeted Adam Cole into the crowd with a tackle.
Oh yeah, yep, off his press thing where he pressed him up over the top, over the ropes.
No. It was a pounce. It was that shoulder tackle.
Oh, okay,
remember?
Yeah.
And he would hit him with that, and they go flying. They had a
Okay.
slight ramp at NXT, and it just sailed him up over the little bit of the barrier and into the crowd. You know, obviously,
okay, yeah,
gonna
I
be
know
some
what you're talking
plants,
about
but yeah, no, absolutely, dude. That was I saw a thing about it about like Triple H knows how to film a monster movie, and so I watched the full thing, and I loved it. Wasn't even a match. It was just like the first thing they did. Like, what did he? He
chased him and they popped the turnbuckle off immediately. Like immediately the destruction started with that top turnbuckle.
Absolutely.
They had me right away.
I loved it. I love what they're doing there. And the thing is, they're doing this stuff and they're not even pay-per-view matches. You know what I mean? Like, I love the level because they're doing so few things on the pay-per-view these days, right? I was surprised to see God, was it Damian and Finn? I think is going to be a match of Bad Blood. That actually kind of surprised me because so much of it is like undershow, right? Is undercard, but like you got all of your stuff that sets up for the pay-per-view. But if you just want to follow like the Intercontinental title story, like that's week to week, and I think they're having a match next week, right?
Yeah, it's Jay versus Braun. There's another thing I learned. If your name is Braun, because it's Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker. If your name is Braun in WWE, you're doing good things.
Oh, absolutely. That's been some tremendous stuff. Riz, what'd you learn from wrestling this week? In chat rooms, we're gonna take a roll by you, and somebody says it's Vader time over on the TikTok. Say, how's it going out there? Oh wait, maybe that's their name. It's Vader time. Okay,
It could be it.
sorry, I highlighted, so I thought it was the comment. Anyways, Riz, what'd you learn from wrestling?
I
this
learned the 500 wrestlers that are on here.
week?
Wanna
Did you
know it, Riz?
memorize them all?
No, not really.
Okay, that was
Who's
fast.
352?
352? Is that what you said?
Yes. It was a memorization test, but okay.
No, it's not. Ricky Starks.
Holy shit.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
222.
He dropped 309 places. What was it?
Oh, geez. That's 222. Who's 222?
222. Charlie Evans.
All right, let's go Pittsburgh. 412.
412.
I like this game.
I did see that. Let me see. Journey Fatu.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. I like this game.
There is also a wrestler on here, number 409, that I kind of want to see. I've never heard of him before. His name is Neil Diamond Cutter.
Oh, I know who that is actually. I've never seen one of his matches, but I've seen him on flyers.
I feel like I've heard of
Definitely.
this. I feel like I've heard about this.
And I like how 500, number 500, is just memes. Like it's memes. It's 500 is memes, and the picture that they provided, I think they even provided it on the PWI 500, was a picture of Blue Kane.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But they just lumped every meme character together in one little 500.
Love it. From the maybe this is what she learned from the chat room. WWE has made one of the most hated wrestlers of the area into the most loved. I think this is Ricky from SmackDown. That was Kevin Owens' original partner when Randy Orton supposedly was late.
He was. Did you hear he was on the bus?
Yeah, I saw the video where they invited him onto Randy's bus. afterwards.
No, not Randy's bus.
What?
Rob's bus.
Rob Van
Van
Dam's
Dam.
bus. Oh, I thought Rob Van Dam was on Randy's bus.
Or I thought no, he has his own bus. I think
Rob has his own bus?
Rob had his own bus. I think.
Why does Rob Van Dam have a bus? Does he just
Why
generally have a
why
bus?
do you think? Why do you think Rob Van Dam has his own bus, Sorg?
I'm just gonna leave that there then. Okay.
That's a hot bus, Sorg.
I learned.
He's got to be on a couple no-fly
Oh.
lists.
This is
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. You can't fly, can't leave the country. Can't oh, sorry. This is actually what Tina learned. Wrestling is for everyone. Having that energy, being so hyped for SmackDown with a new theme from Megan Thee Stallion, seeing all different kids in the crowd in the arena, kind of brought a tear to my eye. Exhausted from the gatekeeper behavior of just toxic POS fans on social media lately. That's why we have this show. That's why we have MJF saying, "Hey, I watched the other guys." You know, I mean, completely. So
That's why the indie wrestling board, the indie wrestling boards are no longer a thing.
yeah. Well, I mean, also like
I mean, technically it's Twitter, but
it's become Twitter, and the only reason that board's not a thing is that guy literally passed away, and so nobody.
I was
paid
going
for
to say
the thing.
that. I think the guy that ran it died. Yeah.
So.
Oh,
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
But I don't even know who it was. I have no idea. I'm just like the guy, you know.
Hey, Rich, just out of curiosity, who's the highest ranked Pittsburgh wrestler?
ooh,
Oh, I might have. That'll take some time. Let's give him a minute on
Yep.
that.
that might give me some. So, are we talking about like current indie wrestlers from Pittsburgh?
I would
Like
say
indie wrestling, or just
I would say Indy because I imagine Lee
Wrest-
Moriarty by default is going to be the highest ranked, or Thea, I guess. I guess Thea could technically, huh?
Thea could be, and I think Lee won that belt after the
So-
deadline, maybe.
Thea won't be on here
Mm-hmm.
because, like I mentioned last time, they
Women's,
only
yeah.
count the women who are wrestling intergender matches.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Let's see. Keep going.
Another random thought: there's never been a female WWE movie star.
Becky Lynch was in something.
Yeah,
Sasha
she was
Banks.
in something, but
Sasha Banks has been in Mandalorian.
oh yeah, okay, she would be the closest. You're right. Yeah.
And man, it's like they had
Because even
they
like
had
Sable
Summer,
wasn't, Sunny wasn't. I'm trying to think
no,
all like
Summer,
the big.
Summer Rae is her name? Summer.
Yeah, but I don't
Summer-
think she started.
she
doing
was
that
a
till, like,
co-star
after, right?
on the Marine.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
the
yeah, she was still
fellas
in
are
then,
still
yeah.
doing reality
Because
shows.
the Miz was in that too, right? I believe the Miz was in the Marine also.
Yeah. No, nobody else really kind of rolled out from there, did they?
No, because with that era, you would think Sable,
Uh-huh.
because she's still obvious. It seems like she has a
Also,
decent head on her
like,
shoulders, unlike Sunny.
The Hollywood's not good with ladies.
No,
You know what I mean?
And just
I
in
mean,
general, either.
Can you
That's what's crazy.
remember the love interest from any Mission Impossible movie and any other movie, for instance? Right? Like
No.
they're not, you know. I feel like Hollywood ladies are, unless they get in the drama, are almost more throwaway than 2000s women's wrestlers.
That's valid. Because watching that
Unfortunately.
trailer for the Killing Game, I had no idea who the
no
female
fucking
love
idea.
interest in his
No
fucking movie.
idea.
No idea who she was.
No, sometimes you'll get somebody like, you know, the one that played Mantis in Guardians and things like that. You know, the one that's from the one that was in Shang-Chi that did everything everywhere all at once, for instance, is really having a moment right now. But they really do seem kind of fleeting, right?
Yeah,
Megan
they
Fox
really are.
randomly came back for the
Transformers.
no the Stallone thing, the Expendables.
Oh, okay.
CJ Perry has done some stuff,
Mhm.
but again, nobody's
Wasn't
obviously.
she was some type of actor before WWE though, right? I know she was a
Yeah.
gymnast. Huh?
She was in Pitch Perfect apparently before.
That's
WWE
right.
was a big
That's
thing.
right.
Yep. That was a big swing.
So, I want to go back to this because locally, the highest I think I found is MV.
Really?
Okay.
But one name that I kind of am happy to see on this list where they are. Max. Fucking Max is at let's see, where are they at here? It is I'm all the way over here. I'm far away. I think they're in the 50s. And like with some names such as like
You mean
Joe
Maybe
Hendry.
Impaler?
Yeah, Max the Impaler.
Oh, they're doing amazing.
They're doing
things.
amazing.
That's good for
Like-
them.
Like in the 50s, you have Joe Hendry, Ron Breaker, Oba Femi, Max the Impaler, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Claudio, Kevin Owens, and Jack Perry.
Can we just throw
That's-
all of them in a match with Max, please? Because that sounds like a baller fucking match to begin with.
Just
so.
I would love to see Oba Femi versus Max.
I'm always fascinated because I've bit watching here and there a little bit of more NWA, trying to get more familiar with it. Plus, they're getting to the point where, and I'll throw that mention out right now. Then, Pretty Boy Smooth is debuting on NWA Power as of today on the CW app, which is free for you guys to watch. They're showing the Back to the Territories show so it's in a high school gymnasium, but that's the point. Okay,
That's
remember that's the
Yeah.
aesthetic they're going for on this one.
yeah.
I was wrong. Pretty Boy Smooth is 362, so
Okay.
he is ahead of.
So Pretty Boy,
Okay.
not Pittsburgh, but is Western Pennsylvania. So we will.
Yeah. We'll count
big
it.
in the area, so
If
honestly,
if
big
companies can if companies can do it, Sorg, we can do it. Wrestlers can do it.
Okay,
They're Pittsburgh based.
that's right, Pittsburgh-esque based. People that have been live in this studio, for instance, is a good thing. Yeah, who's the top person who's been live in the studio? That would be Pretty Boy Smooth, probably.
Oh, in the studio, yes.
In studio, unless I can't think of anybody else that would be. Yeah.
So I want to point out number 307 is Rhino.
Ooh, okay.
I learned this week a friend of the show that got a Legends contract. Did you see this? Riz.
Who?
Armando Alejandro Estrada. I can't roll. my
Okay,
R's,
yes,
so yes.
I did hear about rumors that I heard Armando got it. Who else? Victoria got it.
Good. Yeah. No, she got it.
Um,
Yeah. She's awesome.
And I've also heard like there's like slight rumors that Armando is going to be somebody's Heisman.
yeah,
in the
I've
future.
read this also.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I'm here for it. I was really sad to see all the peg warmers at Target yesterday were Rosie's.
Yeah, me
There
too.
was like 6 or 8 of them.
Mine too.
I was this close to buying the new Britt Baker one that has the Hart
I'm-
Owen Hart belt.
I'm still upset over them with how they rendered fucking Big Boss Man's one
Oh, really?
from Big Bubba.
Big Bubba.
His one does not look anything like him.
Yeah, that one's rough. The Daniel Bryan one looks rough from AEW, so it gets funky, trying to do real people. Jacqueline got it as well.
Jacqueline got it good.
Yes. Lee
Put Victoria in the Hall of Fame already.
I know, right? I saw Danny Mo's on a show with Victoria here coming up too, so I'm sure she's run into her before, knowing how they're freaking everywhere, doing poolside photos with all of her belts. I see you, Danny Mo.
Yeah.
So, living the dream, doing JCW shows. Good for them. I know Facade is just over the moon working, just doing like random promo videos with Violent J. Holy shit, that kid from the ICP crowd. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I imagine he'd just be rolling with this. I love it.
So
Good for him.
Rogue, I think I got your name now. It's Rogue XX. Like it's spelled with a 3. But they mentioned that they didn't want to bring it up, but Ronda Rousey has been in films as well.
Yeah, I see. That was.
That's such a on the line one because
Yeah, because
UFC.
she did it before.
she didn't get famous from WWE.
I mean, that's like I feel like she's in the same boat as like Gina Carano on a couple lines actually.
And it's not like she was good in those.
No, but it was like, they had a couple of oh god, who's the Iceman? Not Bellator, but he was in those Expendable. Chuck Liddell. Thank you. Like, yeah, there's always been a thing like just like especially like an action film like that, bringing in like a UFC guy or something like that. Like I think that's, but also even they're not doing.
I mean,
a lot else.
even her performance in the Mortal Kombat games as
that's right.
Sonya Blade.
Oh yeah.
Was kind of
But John Cena as Peacekeeper is pretty amazing.
Game. She was in that Legends game that all people promote. What's that? Broken Legends or something? I can't think of what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh, League. Was it League?
No. It's a mobile game that every single YouTube video you watch has a ad
Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah. Yes, sir. That's it.
This is why I pay for YouTube Premium. Because I'm okay not knowing this stuff because it's not shit I want. So
that's what we're here for.
Tim Titan, it's been a pleasure having you on here and having a conversation with you. You're back.
You're amazing. I appreciate you having me. Thank you very much. Anytime.
Welcome back anytime. Hopefully your other computer works next time. So
I don't know what happened, man. It didn't like my microphone.
Zoom gets wild. But we got to make sure we do something about the product placement in the background.
Where do I go? Oh, my Pampers.
Yeah, you're like displaying Pampers. I just noticed. I'm like, yo, stop slipping the sponsorships in.
This is what it looks like. This is what the background of a 3-year-old's house looks like.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, thank you so much. Check out RWA. Again, RWAlive.com for ticket info, or you can see it streaming at IndyWrestling.us outlets as well. Thursday Night Fights is this Thursday. There'll be a lot of fun happening there. Come out live if you're in the New Kent area, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Stay tuned if you're on the live stream for Patreon. And, of course, that'll be up in the feed here shortly as well. Thank you, everybody that's tuned in, supporting the show and everything. We'll see you guys next time. Mayhem out.
Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.